I'm never ready. You guys always catch me. But anyway, welcome and welcome back. Welcome! No, I won't do it like that. Welcome and welcome back, everybody. This starts at the round table. My name is Mello, and this is part two. Part two of my Rocketeer tribute. Earlier this morning, I did the pencils of this piece. And when I was done, I did the whole drawing, and then I took a break, and in between the two live streams, I went ahead, tightened up the pencils a bit more, sharpened up my lines, because I was going to ink it. I wanted to ink it today so that I can prep it tonight and ink it for tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to do. Give me one hot second, guys. I just want to put some tunes in the background for me. Something that doesn't have a lot of ads in between. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to just tidy up my area. I don't need all these pencils anymore. All I need is my ink. And I think this thing should be working. For my ink, I'm using Bombay Black with a mix of Sakura. It may not even be Sakura, but this Japanese calligraphy ink. It works really well. So, shake. But I hope you guys are all having a good day, good afternoon, considering the I'm going to save that, the dumpster fire that. That's all I'm going to say. We're not going to bring that in. This is a safe place. Safe place, safe space. So on my screen in front of me, I'm going to put my pencil drawing up. Tools, rotate right. Rotate right. All right. So I went ahead and scanned it in, and then I sharpened the contrast and then lowered the opacity, and then I printed it out on Bristol board. I will be using my Windsor and Newton Series 7 brushes. Stop listening, Siri. Mind your business, Siri. I'm just trying to get them to a point. They're pretty clean. I clean them after every use. Number 2 and number 3, the Windsor Newton Series 7 brushes. Just trying to get them to a point like this. This is probably the number 3. I had bought. They get expensive the higher up you go in the size, obviously. So I thought I can buy an alternative. So I bought this King Art finesse brush, size 8, thinking that it would match, and no, it doesn't. First of all, but it actually does really well with acrylic. So, but I don't know why I'm talking about that right now, because we're not doing that right now. Let me get up. I'm going to set my phone up so that I can record my, I use my phone to record my shorts. Plug that in. All right, so yep, so that is the pencils. I thought I was losing it. That is the printed version. Those are the OG printed G. Set this aside. And I want to try to do, I want to try to capture as much of Dave Stevens' inking style as possible, especially when it comes to the folds. And I don't know how close I'm going to get to it, just because one, our art styles are absolutely different. And I didn't really leave myself much area for that, but that's okay. Um, we're gonna do our best. I might use a wash style, add a little bit more water to my inks. I can't find my other ink well. Wah. That's okay. I can use this actually. I'll use this. Straight up, these are clean. It's fairly clean. I'll use this. Woo, that's so close to the edge. I feel, guys, that I am just like a nudge away of making a huge mess. Like everything's in the way. I got stuff I should have. It's not like I didn't have enough time to get ready. So I apologize dearly. All right, so I got my ink well. I got my. I'm gonna fold this out a little bit more. I'm probably gonna use a piece of paper. That's gonna be my scrap. You guys can't see it in the vertical stream, but in the horizontal, that's gonna be my scrap. All right, so on one of my screens, I just have Pinterest, and now instead of having the Rocketeer images, what I do have is effects like explosions and debris and just whatever I can use in clouds and something that I can use as reference, mental reference when I'm doing the clouds. Again, a lot of this is going to be, it's not necessarily planned. If you guys were here for the original, for the first video, for the first stream earlier today, I was going to do like him standing with this here, and this drawing just kind of got away from me, and I kind of like this composition. Simple, powerful, I think. And I gave myself enough space so that I could actually get a superimposed version of the Rocketeer's title and create the illusion of the faux cover. All right, so yeah, these are going to be my inspirations. I might have to crack open. I think we're good with light. I don't want too bright in here. Been actually fighting a headache. So I love that. So the thing is that I didn't really plan. There's really not a lot of images where I can crib his art style or even his inking. He's got such amazing ink lines, Dave Stevens does. So I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna use the 2. I'll use the 3 for the bigger areas, but I'm just gonna keep this to the side because that it will be my inspiration. Just in general, got my tunes. You guys can jump in and ask anything whenever you can. I'm going to put on the bottom of the screen here on the vertical. If you guys are on my horizontal screen stream, you'll be able to see my Ko-fi, or if you go into the description of this video, you'll be able to see all my links to where you can support me, my Ko-fi, my Etsy, my IG, whatever. But if you jump on, please say hello. Don't forget to say hello. I might actually add that. Don't forget to like the video, say hello, and all that stuff. Will you please? Don't be like that. So I'm actually going to add that to the vertical before I start inking, just as so that we can get ready. No, we don't want all that. You know what? Who cares? Let's just get to drawing and inking, shall we? Is that cool? That's cool. I usually pour more than what I need into my shot glass. I definitely pour more than what I need, just so that I won't be fumbling around looking for more. Cool, cool. Cancel that, hit that, keep the chat up. Okay, where's my number 2? My room is really warm. It might get dry, so we'll see what happens. I'm gonna try to ink the whole piece with the brush. Give myself space. Get comfortable. I haven't done much practicing with the ink with this brush today. I'm kind of stiff. I was trying to do some feathering with the pencils. All right, let's just cut to it and let's go. I don't know where to start. Should I do the outline? Should I do the inside? I'm going to try not to rotate the screen so much, just because it gets nauseating after a while. But I definitely might have to, just to get the right type of line to push. So we shall see. Set up my time lapse here. Let's get it. I need to make a line just so that I can get this this anxiety out of the way, right? Let's go. Bam, that's it, done. What I'm going to try to do is build a line and move this stuff. Move this stuff out the way. Again, I feel like I am an elbow nudge away from just making a ginormous mess. So I'm going to do a lot of just right now controlled lines. Just feeling my way around the brush. Okay, I know what that is now. I was planning to do a lot of feathering effects just to give motion because I wanted kind of chaotic lines. I don't want it too clean because he is in the air. He is being propelled as we watch. All right. I still don't know, which is why they. Well, anyway, let's just paint. Let's just aim, shall we? I'll get a few, and then if something pertinent comes into mind, I'll talk about it. It's hard to see, isn't it? On screen here, you don't get to see all of the love going. Oh yeah, with the feather on it. Where you at? Where you at? Hello, Gemma. Hello, Philip. How you guys doing? Oh man. Running around but jumping onto sport. I appreciate that. What a cool shape that piece is. Are you aware? Are you familiar with the Rocketeer? That is the character that I am drawing today. I say you love pencils, but why? You say why inking the most fun? Question mark. What? I love pencils, but you're asking, but why is inking the most fun? That's a good question. Earlier on, I used to be extremely intimidated to inking, um, and I still am. There's so much stuff that just because of the finality of it, you know, the I'm gonna make a mistake always rings in my head, and I hate that feeling. So. Oh, somebody's eating my M&Ms. Oh, it's your favorite part. Oh yeah. I've really learned to appreciate inking. Trying to go slow as I rotate because I'm doing a time lapse on my phone as well. It'll just make it look like it's a turntable, and it gets a little nauseating. what helped me was one, just going all out and getting in there and just preparing on the pencils, making sure you identify solid blacks and things like that. You have to change the way of your thinking when you're thinking of pencils and inks. When I'm penciling, I can try to render everything as much as possible. But to make it stand out graphically, then you got to start thinking about inks and making dark shadows and and you can really end up overdoing the inks to the point where it'll just be a hot mess. You almost want to do less at first. And then as you get comfortable, you'll begin to see patterns in your mind's eye as you're penciling, and you'll prepare the page a little bit better. All right. But I did a lot of inking last year with my Pentel brushes. One, because they're a lot cheaper than these Winsor Newton brushes. But these dedicated ink brushes are so much more versatile. This part of his body and his suit is closer to the jetpack he's wearing, so I want to give it more feathered lines, a little bit more chaos. I don't think I have a choice. I'm going to have to rotate this paper. You really like the thought process? Yeah, yeah, and I mean it evolves with you as you do more of it. I thought that painting was going to help me ink, but it's two different ideas. Yes and no. I rarely do such smooth brush lines with my when I'm painting. And sometimes that feathering effect doesn't work quite well. Sometimes, depending on the type of texture you're looking for when you're painting. And because I don't have the experience that normal comic book inkers have, the experience or even just what's the word I'm looking for? Their processes. They all have a different method of how they work. That suits them. Obviously, most artists do. Some artists would have worked only on the inside first to get the shading. Some would do what do they call them? Holding lines. Like these hard edges are holding lines. But I'm more of a, I feel, I feel more of a feel type of dude. If I feel like that's the piece I'm going to do it, I'm going to do that piece. If that makes any sense. That's the part. I'm really tight at the moment, which is why I'm doing these pieces that I can still mess up and be okay. I don't have to be too sharp. I'm gonna need to be a little bit warmed up when I start doing the face, the helmet. All this other stuff can be feathered in, so I don't need to be so tight. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. So, Philip, Are you feeling better? And obviously, thank you for joining me today. Ooh, oh yeah. One, congratulations. I didn't know you were the pops. And yes, having kids, bro, cooties, man. Cooties. And I have three. God, thank God they're all old right now. Older. But yeah, I knew every time I was gonna get sick. Beginning of school, after certain breaks, when they would after breaks and they go back and hang out with their friends or whatever. I knew it was coming. It was eventual. All right, this is gonna be all black anyway. Right now, I'm thinking of lighting. I had an idea that there was gonna be two types of lighting because in the center, I wanted him to have his leather bomber jacket and the outside have some flash. But okay. What did you said you're using the pencil brush right now? No, this is the Winsor Newton Series 7 brush. Let me see. I mean, the writing in here is too small, so maybe. Yeah, it's too small, the writing. But no, this is the Winsor Newton Series 7 brush. This is the series of brushes that if you were to Google right now or to put in the question, what is the best brush to ink or what do comic book artists use to ink? This will be one of the number one. And because of that, they get kind of pricey. And there's an amazing artist that I follow by the name of Steve Rude, and he recommends using a bigger brush in size. What I'm using is a number 2. He recommends using anything 8, 9, and 10. But I don't make Rick Rude. I don't make Steve Rude money, so sure boy got to stay with the smaller brushes. But you get such variety of line with these brushes because they're so well done. Yeah, the price jump is kind of nuts. Like it's still just a brush. This one in particular, this one and the number 3, you could probably get them for 20, 30 bucks. And even still, you go, man. I was like, let me see what that number 8 and number 10 go for. And the price jump is kind of nuts. A little too much, man, for my love. I ain't ready. But if you're practicing with brushes, even if a Pentel brush, which is what I used a lot, I've shown these already. These are my jams. They're refillable. They're versatile. They're just as versatile. You can get a few of different. Let me get this out of here. Different size brushes, tips. They're synthetic tips, so you ain't gonna worry about that. Yeah. But yeah, I've done some work on those. Yes, this one, Tema, is the Windsor new one. But yeah, once you start going up in size, I think the number 7 jumps up from this, which is a number 2 and 3, 30 bucks, like 150. I look in the camera, 150. And the number 10, I think, was almost 500 bucks. And no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. I'll wait for the endorsement. Yes, you wanted to invest in a Series 7. The 6, about 200, but the quality is supposedly not what they were in the past. Yes, that is also true. Yeah, but even if this was trash, I wouldn't know about that because you pay so much for it that you'll make it work. Yeah, the reviews were showing that. Yeah, and I think that and once you start paying that much, you will be scrutinizing brush brush tips and hairs and all of it. Because you should. I gave myself too much window. I think all right, I'm gonna up the that's black. That's black. I'm gonna put those in now. What's up, Saboteur? Welcome back. Yeah, it's a little too much. Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, Philip. I have a art table on the other side of this table in my studio, and it's the one I was using throughout the earlier part of my YouTube. Um, but I don't do all my art on an angle. But I will be doing some canvas painting over there. Oh, let me get this out the way. And these brushes, once you start getting that high up on, they require a certain amount of care. I'm giving them too much feathering. I'm still 100% more comfortable with the Pentel brushes, though. There's a weight to them. And just how they feel in the hand is a bit more comfortable. for me, which is probably why Steve Rude recommends the bigger brushes. I might have to ask him. Ask him. As if. As if. But he's actually pretty responsive to his fans. So if I catch a live stream, I might just ask him. I think I have a choice. I'm gonna have to rotate. Find the highest rated brush set on Amazon for a good price. Do my best. Enjoy making art now. Overthinking tools. Yes. Yes. It feels a little lopsided only because I haven't finished. The brush, it had weight and comfort. Yeah. Yeah, these pencil brushes and just the weight of the stem, I don't know, the handle just feels more comfortable. I feel that these brushes, this is so thin and so light that you really have to concentrate and get a little bit more control. Because of the size of this thing, there's more comfort, in my opinion. In my opinion. Which is probably why you see a lot of artists end up adding something to the brush on some of these. Let me see. I couldn't fit them in my pens, but you can probably see it on my pencils. I started adding these things. But this is actually what this has done to my lead pencils is made them lighter. Lighter because I don't get an opportunity to squeeze the handle. Saves your knuckles. They're built for speed, not comfort. Uh, no, that's something I bought. That foam is something I bought. I used to try to wrap them. I had a few that were wrapped in like construction tape or painter's tape. I just wasn't really comfortable with that either. So these foams have been really good. You can buy them in a bundle. If you're interested, Philip, I'll show you the link for it. The holes to put your pencil in are pretty small though, so I had to use a knife to cut into them. But I put them on my pencils, on my mechanical pencils. They save you from getting that artist bump or that writer bump. I mean, it's too late to save that bump. That bump is, it is what it is. I sent it to you. If you watch David Finch, he has his lead pencil, his mechanical pencil. It's just wrapped with so much tape. I don't know how that's comfortable. But I tried it. It wasn't comfortable for me, so. To each his own, man. To different strokes for different folks, I guess. I tried to put. Foam on these also, and they're already light, and that foam causes you not to squeeze. It always felt like the brush was going to fall off my hand, but I guess that's how it's supposed to feel. I just wasn't comfortable with it. And I have a tendency to drop my brushes on my artwork. All right, not too shabby. It's coming along. Oh, thank you, Thomas. You as well. Have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for coming through. I really do appreciate it. he has these shoulder pads, so I'm gonna have to accentuate that. And then everything behind it is gonna be jagged lines. I wanted to give him the appearance of just propulsion. You gotta make those sound effects when you're drawing. Yeah, bro, I'm gonna watch it tonight too. I kept talking about it yesterday, even after uh, I'm definitely gonna watch it. Watchers hate it, but I thought it was better. There's garbage. It's not Avengers. Let me move this out the way. No, I'm sure. I've seen it a bunch of times. That thing holds up. All right. Yeah, Philip, I think you'll like the documentary. I liked it. Um, I was I usually end up spending more time on these streaming channels finding something to watch, and I don't. Yes, so I've been watching the Icon series. And the first series I watched was the Batman series, and they go through all of the movies minus the 1960s Adam West version. So they go through the 1989 and they go on and on and on. Anyway, because I watched that, it opened up some other documentaries, and that was one of them. So there was a documentary on Frank Miller. I don't know if it released yet. That's one that I'm waiting on. Exactly. When it first came out, I had no idea about the character, really, right? Because it was 19, did it come out 87, 89, The Rocketeer, 91 maybe, I think. And well, because of the success of Batman, we got to see the shadow and things like that. So that kind of opened up my world to those characters also. So I thought that it was the same, just like you thought. I wanted to square this up, so I'll square it up later. I can do it now. I'm going to use this small enough. And then checking it out. And yeah, it was some goober that did it in the 1980s. And I love the shadow. I even like that the Alec Baldwin shadow. Alec Baldwin is, in my opinion, too handsome to be the shadow. They were trying to make him. What's the matter with Pup? His tail's between his
I
legs
heard
too.
him fighting, like he was fighting something,
Outside?
and he came back.
And something hissed at him, maybe.
He came back like shook, and he looked like he was dizzy because of the way he was moving. So when you get a chance, if you could check him,
Will do.
make sure it wasn't a snake or anything like that.
They should have. Even when in his uh, when he's in costume as the figure, they didn't give him a big enough schnoz, man. Yeah, he should have had a. I smell evil. I bet you can, bro. I might watch that too. Young Ian McKellen, if he was ever young. Tim Curry, who was amazing in everything. Yeah, that's right. That's right. was never young. Yeah. Which one? Curry? Do I have it? I got it somewhere. I have I'm turning my camera off. The hell? That's hilarious. That was weird. Four peoples. And I got tree peoples. Yeah, man. Doesn't necessarily look like leather that he's wearing, but you know what? We're all right. We survived. I'm gonna have to make it happen on the paints. Trying to go slow so it won't look so weird. Bro, don't be coming in here making no noise. That's how much my dog listens to me. I'm getting like a stray hair on this brush. It's just a shame that the guy Dave Stevens never did anything else. He just did pinups after. He um he was a perfectionist, so he would work really slow. And if he had a question about it, he would not do it. He wouldn't finish it. He would do it. He will work on it weeks on end. And it's something that I admire. It's something that I, as an artist, kind of to my own detriment, go good enough. And put it out there. And then lament it. Oh man, I wish I would have done this. And he would do it, even though he was always lamenting his artwork in a sense, because he always wanted to change it. Every artist has a bit of that, but for instance, if this was his piece, he didn't like it, he'll block it out. He didn't care how long it was going to take. He was meticulous. And that's something that I really admire. And a part of me would like to do that, right? Like adopt that thinking. Like, don't rush it out. Do it right. No regrets. Don't just say good enough. Yeah. But and like you said, it is kind of a detriment. He, from what I just from watching that, from what I got out of it, is that I don't think he ever thought he was putting out the best. I can do it better. And like most artists, we're the only ones that can see those shortcomings in our own work. But he had none. Wait till you see the stuff that he was doing when he was younger. You go, what the hell? What the frick, bro? But it's good. It's good to scrutinize. As an artist, it's good that you scrutinize your stuff. Once you get to a point in your art where you don't even question if you're good or like, and that there's nothing else to learn, it just that I think is more detrimental. Yeah. Yeah. And the thing with David Finch's Skin Breakers that it's Kirkman is writing it. Finch doesn't have to write it. He may come up with the idea, but he doesn't have to do all the scripting and the I'm assuming also. This dude was doing all of that. What is going on with my camera? I'm gonna have to turn off this one. Hold on, give me 1 second, party peoples, because I don't know what's happening. Yeah, because I'm not touching nothing. So I'm gonna turn off that face cam because we don't need it. Something's causing it to crash. Okay. Can you guys still hear me also? Nope. Looks like we were having some technical difficulties. See, there's gremlins going. There's gremlins. I got a dog that barks too loud and a cat that meows too loud. Yeah, there's something going on, man. It's a conspiracy. I don't know if it'll translate, but I actually want to see. I wanted to try to draw a tier because if he's hauling ass. So his eyes got to be watering. I know this camera shot's a little too high, too far. I hope the broken glass translates. But we're moving along still. They can't stop us. They stopped us. So Philip, you saying that you got into drawing late, right? You're trying to pick it up now. Did you draw before? Or is this something that you always wanted to do, and now you have the opportunity to try it out? I almost feel like doing the majority of this thing with that. Let's work around this. I'll get back to the face. Gotcha. It was a dream Okay. I got you. Something I always wanted to do, and now kind of see it as I really should commit. If this life is the only one on the planet, yes, it's the only one we got. Okay, but my environment was the conducive. Let's say growing up, he did win a contest. Gotcha. Not conducive. I know what you meant. Yeah, I was kind of introvert, so my art was meant to as a safe place for me. So sharing it as a as an adult now, it's still one of the weirdest things. But it turned into such a blessing to do it and meet new people and great people. So I appreciate it. Well, I'll tell you what. If there's certain things that if I can go back and tell young Mel or even young Philip, you don't need all of this stuff to get good. You don't need all of this stuff to pursue it. One of the most versatile tools is a number two pencil. But yeah, it was for my comfort. I would literally, if we would get company and I was drawing in the kitchen table, whatever, and company would come in, oh, what are you drawing? I would literally grab my stuff and walk away. You know what? I think maybe this ink is not good for what I'm using. Oh man, what are you drawing, little guy? Nope, not today. Just grab my stuff and walk right out. Oh, thanks. I didn't know if it was gonna translate. I'm glad it worked out. I did a bunch of different. I had this eye where you can see it through the lens because he does that. That was usually the first idea I had was, am I going to show the eye inside the lens? But I think I'm going to black out this lens here because this one shows. So that kind of works. I'm going to clean my brush because it seems to be. Okay. I think what I'm going to end up doing because I like that feathering effect, I might do some of that feathering on the edges of these hard edges. Maybe. Excuse me. Maybe. Just taking a break for a second. I'm going to stand up, do a little chair yoga. Thanks. And this was actually not that complicated a piece, really. One, because I'm also thinking about when I color it. Where is it? There you go. Sorry, scooched it. And the majority of it, which is why I kind of went okay with the black. I mean, with the way the inking is. Yeah. His color scheme is just beige on beige, right? Copper helmet, leather jacket, fire from the jetpack. How cool is that? So what I'm going to do is a little bit more yellow on the helmet. I'm going to do some the color of his leather jacket, and it's going to be white with an outside layer of maybe reddish for the jetpack. So I think it's going to be okay if I go in here with black, just so that his helmet stands out, so we can have certain sections for the eyes to rest on. And this is so low on the page. They're framing it with the black, white, maybe some orange on the edges. Black, that, white, and then the Rocketeer. All right, so the scooches, and let's do that. I tell you what, though, this paper, this is regular Bristol board, uh, comic book paper, technically, I guess. It feels so good when you're inking. The way it kind of just slides off or slides across the page is really satisfying. The goal is to try to paint this thing also tomorrow. Uh, I think this method is not too shabby. Like I was saying a couple of streams ago, I've been feeling this kind of like this weird sensation of incompletion, and it was because I was drawing more pieces than I was, and not completing the process, not inking it, painting it, and just taking too much time in between the sessions to do so. And it was just messing with me, psychologically messing with me. So doing it this way, not too bad. It stays fresh because the longer those drawings stay on my wall, like the Black Panther I did a couple weeks ago or a month ago, the longer they stay hanging on my wall and not finished, the less and less motivated I get to actually finish them. This design element doesn't make sense because the square here, but it's blowing out the side of the frame. Let's do it anyway. Leave myself space for my signature. Like losing some of the edges. I might have to rotate this again. Yeah, that's right. It's avant-garde. They're like, what does that mean? I don't know. every wrong choice is stylistically. Artistic interpretation, my friend. Nothing's wrong. So do you post any of your stuff out at all? All right, that looks like they're coming out of the sun. I'm being birthed over here. All right, now I can sit back down. There's so much stuff in the way, bro. Nothing, man. So that means we would have to start from the beginning, huh? That's okay. Because once you realize that it's all circles and squares. Let's do this helmet. Determined, motivated, and stubborn. Well, those are the best 3 traits to have, man. When it comes to doing art, honestly, you got to be motivated because sometimes it's boring. super duper time consuming. But it's also super gratifying. So determination and motivation is almost one and the same. All right, let's see if we can. He's losing shape. Oh man, I'm sorry to. You have a learning disability from a brain injury. Long story. It's hard for you to learn on your own. I gotcha. Good with tech? Awesome. Gotcha. Put some battle damage on that helmet. Yeah. So what would be an artistic goal? Maybe we can do. Maybe we can work on something like that. Thank you. This might be the most meticulous I think I've been on an art piece. And and I know I keep bringing up that documentary, but it was just inspired by Dave Stevens' actual work. That it would suck, man, to do like an homage and then yeah, the inks is trash. But thank you, man. Well, let's do short term. You can have five. I got five short term goals going at all times. What would be one of your short terms? Yes, our artistic goals. Always. She be screaming out the secrets of the universe, man. It's just too bad that none of us speak cat. Ah, that's why. Actually, I think she's trying to say she's hungry. Battle damaged Rocketeer. Yeah. I think the hardest thing I'm gonna have to try to figure out is that shade right here. All right, I'm just gonna go for it. So yeah, man. Short term, draw proper cubes. There you go. Cylinder to rotate like I see people do. I mean, from what I've seen, basic forms and perspectives really the most. Absolutely, absolutely. And then, honestly, then once you see that, you can pretty much draw anything. It's also about tricking your eye, tricking your mind, not your eye, tricking your mind into what it is that you're trying to accomplish, right? Because if I was to ask you, all right, Philip, do me a favor and draw an eyeball or draw an eye, the human eye. You're most likely, even if you're looking at reference, you're most likely going to do the almond shape, right? And you probably can't see that because it's so far, and you'll be right. If you was looking at an eye to copy, what I would do is I would try to help you see the other shapes to see the other shapes in that area to trick your mind. Don't look at the eye. Don't worry about the eye, right? This is the matrix. There is no spoon. You would see the small triangle that has a shadow underneath the eyebrow, that type of stuff. Like that's and because that's how I measure when I'm drawing. If I'm using reference, I'm looking at those type of innocuous shapes to make what it is that I want. And you're right, it all starts with being able to see those shapes inside everyday things. Circles, squares, triangles, trapezoids, pentagons, all that stuff. It just takes a bit of time. Oh no, I'm cheating. I'm using the micron. second figure I did with a mohawk, with a fin. I think it's coming along. Because the majority of what's left is going to be painted. Yeah, man, I did that one a couple of days ago. A lot of the stuff on my YouTube are stuff that I've done a while ago because I can just schedule it. If whatever you see me post on Instagram, it's usually the most current. I'm gonna go off the page with these. I used to have so much trouble, and I still do, trying to draw Savage Dragon's friggin' fin. All right, where is my? I'm gonna frame this thing up. It's surprising to me though that I'm a huge Jim Lee fan, and I don't draw any of his image stuff. I don't draw Grifter, Spartan, none of his Wildcats characters. I'm trying to think. I don't want to seem to be a liar. Here's my frame. All right. I think that's not bad. Stick coming out of the page. The Rocketeer on top. Color. I won't sign it because I'm going to sign it when I paint it anyway. All right. I never read Divine Right. I never read his Divine Right. I never read. I think he created Gen 13. Did it? Gen 13 before J. Scott Campbell took it over. His Wildcats, his Wildstorm. They just don't. Yeah, man. I think I'm done here. I think the rest of it's gonna be painted. I was gonna bring out his DC stuff. I mean his VR books I have of Jim Lee. But I might close out of the vertical this and just keep the horizontal going. The only thing that's throwing me off, and it's because it doesn't have color, is that you really can't tell where. Well, I guess that might be a good thing. Where he stops and where the blast starts, because he's in it. These are supposed to be the back end of his elbows, I guess. He's being propelled, right? Because these are his shoulders. So he's gonna have to go with color, lighter to darker. A lot of this stuff is gonna get lost when I paint it. Maybe. I might have to go back over some of the stuff with ink after. Let me clean my brush real quick. I'm gonna grab those. Got water in the container. It's ready to get spilled. All right, so post inking this sounds cool. Yeah. Give me 1 second, brother. I'm gonna shut off my my vertical stream, and then I'll sit back down for a hot second. All right, I'm unmuted. I'm gonna move that over. Show you that. Anything else? No. Put my ink back. The safest way to put the ink back into my is a syringe. Yeah, I don't think that ink that I'm using is the correct ink. It is waterproof. But I'm not sure. We'll find out. This is how expensive it is to be an artist. You're gonna you don't waste nothing. This was the safest way for me to refill the inks into my Pentel brushes. Before that, you should have seen the mess I used to make. That was not pretty. Like that, take care of it. These are washed. These are washed. I'm just cleaning the house real quick while we But yeah, these things right here, brother. I don't look at this one as much. His unwrapped. Because I don't feel like it's just, I wish it was bigger, to tell you the truth. This is regular comic book size. And you get it like this so that you can appreciate his work. But the guy, man, it's so good. It's so good. Rob Norton just finished doing a review of this particular book a couple of days ago. Or maybe a couple weeks ago. A couple of episodes ago, I should say. But this one's cool. Then this one here is the art of the DC Comics art of. Sorry for the glare. Gives a bit more the history and the timing. But just DC and Image, none of his Marvel stuff, obviously, because this is DC run. If it was, I think, IDW, they would have did something. This is really cool to see. Like, that's cool. That's so busy. And even that is tight. Like, that's a tight drawing. Even but you got to give it up to Scott Williams. Like, they do work so well together. Yeah, so it goes through a bunch of his stuff. It's a damn shame that we're spoiled by it. Like, even when he's so-called pedestrian, or he's just so efficient that we're not wowed by it anymore. But I could only, yeah. could only hope to be that efficient in my artwork. Fuji. Yeah, I don't know if he did Authority, but that was part of Stormwatch, right? Yeah. And Force. I like that. They bring out some of the other stuff you got. No old names. But anyhow, yeah. And then, of course, the Coupe de Gracie. I think I look at this one a little more than any of the other artist editions that I have. It's just that good. Come on, man. Let me scooch this over. We could almost see the whole book, can't we? Ooh, that's close. I think that if I was to do a flip through, no talking of this book, it'll get 1 million views. Word, and we don't need the words. There's a great video of Jim Lee himself opening up and going through it, and just seeing him kind of like seeing his mind go through the memories, or even not remembering. But some unsung heroes, man, early on is Wiltz, Pertocchio, and Scott. There's a page in here, like this one here, because it's signed by all of them. It's a mix of both, and you can kind of tell, I think. I think so too. Plus, well, they're doing a crossover right now, and I'm kind of he did a Superman, Spider-Man. Come on, dude, ain't gonna do an X-Men? But he did a Batman Wolverine drawing, and I even then I didn't like it. I'm like, meh. I'm so selfish. Yeah, like these drawings here. I think Wiltz did more of these. Like that's not a Jim Lee face. Like as if I would know. Like these aren't Jim Lee faces. He don't do noses like that. He don't do that. I don't think these are his either. And he kind of mentions that how they were working a lot together, Jim Wiltz and Scott. Maybe he did the breakdowns. Maybe he did. One of them did breakdowns. One of them drew it, and obviously because that's not Scott Williams inks either. I should know. Yeah, that's a great shot of Gambit. Nice. Shut up, you. Yeah, just give him one. Give him one, and he wants to do it. He's the boss at DC. Tell him you're gonna do it. Jim. So we're gonna have to earwig him. Yeah, man. But dude. This one here, I look at it a lot. There's a shot in here that what was really cool about this time is that they were just showing off him, Larson, Liefeld, Silvestri. I don't know what. So I think Silvestri was working on the other X-Men book. Maybe he was doing Wolverine at the time. they were just showing off. I don't know what their studios look like, if they worked together or they were separate. Oh, that's such a beautiful shot. Gun in perspective. What'd you say? Rob Liefeld and had Pistachio on the show, and it was cool. Can't say or pronounce his name, but he is so good. He did Wet Works. Yes, man. He started Wet Works. He had, unfortunately, something happened to his sister. I think she may have passed away. She got sick and unfortunately passed away, I believe. And he stepped away to take care of her. But this was the shot I was saying. That's showing off. I don't know how old Jim Lee was when he did this. Maybe we can Google it. Uh, but just the detail up here. And Scott Williams must have been like, dude, what the hell, bro? I'm trying to finish this on time, right? And of course, we don't have enough table space here. It's so good. Ha! I don't remember that. I don't remember Jim and Scott engraved on the rock. Was that always there? Must have been. You can still see the blue line on these. It's so good. What a hot mess of effects and background. The detail. Yeah. He definitely was sweating. He might still be. I think this is this the shot that Rob used for his to his cover. And then of course X-Men #1. Talk about egos though, right? Like him and Claremont. May Claremont rest in peace, man. But oh, you're gonna use all that to draw? All right. Here's more scripting for you. What a beautiful shot. Tight line. You could tell the dot from the pens or whatever they were using. Holy smokes, man. The whiteout or the white ink they used for the effects. I just love that you could still see the blue pencil. That's so good. Anyway, we'll be in here doing the whole book. It's too good. But that is it. I am calling it. Thank you, brother, for hanging out with me. And then womp womp. Womp womp. From Jim Lee to yeah. Oh man. I'm just pinching his nose for this. Absolutely, Philip. Thanks for hanging out, man. And listen, I am considering maybe we could do some little small together. and we'll figure it out. For realsies, we'll figure it out. But I appreciate your time, man. No womp. We need no womp shirts. No womp. No womp. But yeah, brother, you have a good evening. And I appreciate you, man. God bless you. Love you. Mean it. And next time you see me, we'll be painting this bad boy. Bad boy. This one in particular, I'm going to spray it. And I'm going to use fixative and some gesso, and we'll be good to go. All right, senor. You have a good night.